is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of appmasters.com, the place you go when you want action-packed content related to helping you grow your app downloads. And the topic of this particular conversation, your revenues. And there's one thing that the biggest apps have in common, and that is a Web2App funnel, because it opens up a brand new audience that you can target through your UA campaigns, user acquisition campaigns, and allows you to skirt some of those fees that may be associated with Apple and Google. And so when we're going to talk all about that particular funnel, Web2App funnels, how you can get started, what are the numbers like, the benchmark numbers like, and so much more. And with me today is the CEO of FunnelFox, Andrey. So let's bring him in. Andrey, welcome to the show.
Hi guys, thank you for having me.
So if you want to learn more about how do you get started building your Web2App funnel easily, Andrey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try an analogy, okay? If you guys are familiar with like lead pages or click funnels, it's something that builds these onboarding screens, your paywall through FunnelFox. And we're going to break it all down, but go learn more at funnelfox.io. All right. How'd I do, Andrey?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Pretty excited that being here. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got some people here too. All right. DD Hood, white suits you perfect, bro. Is hi. Oh, what's up, Hichum? Good to see you, bro. And then we got Nurex here as well. Mateo, that's a new name. Good to see you. Hey, Jane, good to see you. Coding with AJ. And then we got Luis. What's up, Luis? Buenos dias, my friend. All right, Andrey, let's break it down for the audience here. How to grow with Web2App funnels. Go ahead. I'll follow. You tell me when to go to the next slide too.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for helping with that. So basically, to launch your Web2App funnel, you need to work with these steps. The first one is you need to set up your user acquisition and allocate budget for that, because it's like not the thing that you can launch and it work out right away. You need to allocate some like time and budget to optimize it and to experiment with that to improve the performance of the funnel and make it working. And in terms of user acquisition, you can start with the channel and advertising networks, the same that you use in your app. It's like Meta, TikTok, and Google. But I would recommend start with Meta because it's easiest to start with. It's like more predictable algo, and like creatives work predictable. And the second part is you need to build web onboarding, and web onboarding is like a pretty important thing, because in this onboarding, it's usually web onboarding. It's like sequence of the web pages, so like screens or mobile screens. It could be like onboarding that you have in your mobile app, or it could be something different depending on segments, depending on your audience, and so on. And the main goal of web onboarding is convince people to buy your product and convince to like give it a try and like go with the quiz and so on. Because you don't have much trust here, because you don't have basically on web the names like Apple and Google behind you as in the App Store. So you need basically it's your job to build the trust here. And the third part is payment infrastructure. It's also a really crucial thing, because if you are going to sell subscription on web and leverage this lower commissions on payments, you need to work seriously on your payment infrastructure. And the main important thing here is that the payment flow should be as smooth as possible, without any like extra hiccups or obstacles for users, and so it could be like easy to follow. After purchase, you need to synchronize your users and subscriptions that you purchased in the web with your app, and you can do it with, actually you can do it with services like Adaptive or Revenue Cat, or even in your in-house solution. And to the last and but not least, to measure it and to grow it, to optimize it, you need to like have proper marketing tracking and analytic stuff. So without that, you will not be able to measure it accurately, and optimize it.
Yeah, I love it.
So yeah, it's like there are a lot of tiny details and a lot of like things that you need to build, and it takes some time to optimize each step of that.
Yeah, and it's a pain in the build. We have clients that are doing Web2App funnels, and we're running Facebook ads for them, and it is internally built. So for the the indie or the developer that doesn't want to build it internally, you can use FunnelFox. But from what I hear from the interviews I've done, Andre, too, is Web2App opens up a brand, like I said in the beginning, but it does open up a brand new audience on Meta that you normally won't get in a app install or a ROAS type of campaign where you're looking for people to start a trial, and makes it easier. I imagine that you don't need as like a big of a budget that you would if you were doing an app install campaign or an app campaign than you would a web campaign, because you don't have to deal with IDFA anymore.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's like the beauty of Web2App funnels that you have 100% attribution, and
Yeah.
there is no IDFA restrictions. And uh, just considering the whole flow, like without extra step to go into App Store to install the app, and taking into account the like monetization strategies that you can apply in web funnels, there are a lot of flexibility for that.
Yeah.
It ended up that you can target different audience, and Meta reported that like only 15% overlaps, only 15% of audience overlaps between app campaign and web campaign. So it's like for app developers, it's almost 85% incrementality in terms of audience,
That's
which
awesome.
like, yeah, great.
Check out the next slide.
Yeah, next slide. Uh, yeah, and about optimization. So once you implemented all the stuff and get it set up, and uh, unlikely it work out right away, and you need to optimize it. And I just would like to provide some guide, how to optimize and which steps. And the first step is user acquisition, and really crucial thing, because the audience that you attract really depends on like creatives, channels, and targets that you use. And you can use you can have really like beautiful polished onboarding flow or payment solution, but if you don't attract like right audience, it just wouldn't work out. So user acquisition is really like most important thing that impact your web funnel performance.
Did you get shocked when I changed things?
Oh yeah. I just
Here, I'll
thank
scare
you for
you.
that
What's
too.
up, dude?
Yeah. Um, okay, so let's next slide, please.
Well, I wanted to hit on this, Andre. What do you notice
Yeah, sure.
that people who are using FunnelFox, are they using the same creatives that they are on app install campaigns? And are they taking the ones that are working well from the app install campaigns and moving them into a web to app campaign?
I would say that mostly it's like different creative strategies, different
Okay.
creatives work for the funnel. But actually, it's a good question, and it's like worth to know to mention that if you just launch the web funnel and you don't have any like creatives for web, you can start with your top performance that you use in app campaigns. It's like best practice to do that. And of course, you can take a look at your competitors if you have any like other players, and start with that. And then iteratively, you can experiment with that, and you find your top performance on web. But in mostly it's like different creatives work from. Yeah.
Are you seeing any like, because I know you pulled up a lot of static images. I don't know if that was just on coincidence or if it meant that like web to app campaigns, maybe static images perform better than videos.
No, not really.
Okay.
I just put it like static because it's light. Yeah. No, actually,
It's
it
easier.
depends on product, but
Yeah.
mostly it depends on audience, it depends on product. Sometimes it's like static, for example, for weight loss apps. I see the pattern that static creatives work better, and for like fitness, it's mostly UGC videos. So on.
Yeah, I like it too. And then even when you're using Meta right here, be careful. What we're analyzing is sometimes, Instagram and Facebook act differently. So when
Yeah,
Andre's talking about channels, that's also part of it. Like obviously there's within Meta, there's Instagram, there's Facebook, there's even the different feeds or reels. So really think about the targeting there too as you start optimizing your campaign. Sometimes we see, like for one of our clients, we're seeing way better results on Facebook, actually, Andre, than Instagram. And for others, it's different.
yeah,
Really
it's
depends.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of the channels, by the way, it's um, also worth to mention that web funnels allows you that unlock additional ad inventory like Google search, discovery network, or display network, or affiliate networks, so on. So you have a lot of variety to target and to use your campaigns and user acquisition strategies.
Yeah, we had one client. He wasn't a full Web2 app funnel, but he said his best performing channels was Google, and he was using PPC, SEM, search engine marketing. And
Yeah.
so he was just bidding on a keyword, taking them to a landing page. That landing page didn't take the checkout. Like, should do that, but the landing page just take him to the app store. But it does open up that audience too. And Andre, we've seen Google be so hard for iOS, right? Google for Android downloads, great, but Google for iOS,
Mm.
pain freaking butt. And so if you're iOS only, you might want to consider it. I believe Google is a great channel, right? I'm not saying it's not. I
Yeah.
just think like you
Yeah.
need you probably need a web funnel to make it work.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you definitely need to experiment with that. I think
Right.
I would say that because it's like it works differently for different products sometimes.
For sure.
Okay. And the next tactics that you need to apply for optimizing web funnels, it's actually not obvious, and I see like a lot of times that people start optimizing their web funnels with like quiz, which is not very effective, and it's better to the second after user acquisition. It's better to proceed with the payment flow, and you need to optimize your payment flow as much as possible. You can experiment with like different subscription plans, trials, paid trials, free trials, without trials, pricing strategy. Also, you basically web funnel optimization is all about like finding the match between your audience, your user acquisition strategy, your storytelling and web onboarding, and monetization. And you need to like experiment with these three things and find this match. Probably there could be different topics and different segments with different matches. Yeah, and here, if you sell subscription globally, it's important to have local currencies, of course.
Yes.
It can bring you like up to 20 or 30% conversion rate in these countries. Yeah. And by the way, upsells also it's a great practice, and it's already commonly used in like big web funnels
Yep.
that I see. Yeah, and there are also not only one upsell, sometimes like three, like 2, 3 upsells in a row. So yeah, it actually it helps to improve LTV and ROI.
I want to talk about that a little bit, but the pricing strategy,
Yeah.
have you noticed their like trials work better or no trials and discount on the yearly? What do you find on the web side of things that works a little bit better than the app side of things?
Yeah, I would mention two most common subscription configurations that can be used in web funnels, and it seems that it's like successful
Hmm.
for majority of products. Is 3 plans, as you can see in the first screen. It's like 1 month subscription, 3 month subscription, and half a year, 6 months. And the second configuration is like paid trial, like 1 week trial that automatically converts to 1 month subscription, 1 month subscription, and 3 month subscription. Regarding the trials, it started working worse like recently, and more and more products just switching to this 3 plans configurations. And speaking of the free trial is the worst configurations that yeah. I would say that okay, it works pretty much good for organic traffic where users have like higher motivation to try the product and to give a try with the trial. But for paid acquisition, it works not very good because you can attract a lot of people who are willing to start free trial, but they're not willing to pay. And so you can end up with a lot of billing issues like insufficient funds. So they use sometimes cards with no funds on the balance. And we see a lot of cases, customers that are like newcomers in FunnelFox, and we start working with that. And of course, we suggest some like good best practices for that, and trying to convince developers to use these configurations.
I like it, man. I want to touch on this. Whoops, sorry, Luis. I love this. Noom. I want to break this down a little bit. For those who can't read it, it says it costs us approximately 11 euros to offer a 14-day trial. Please pick an amount that's reasonable for you. And they have 1, 11, and 1641. That's pretty interesting, that 1641.
Yeah.
This option helps us support those who need to select the lowest trial price as well. I like this funky price. And then cost of trial, they have the date too. I really like this. It anchors it like, hey, we have costs too. And I think that's what users don't understand is like, we have costs to support you as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any good examples of upsells too? Like, because ultimately you buy a 3-month plan, and then what have you seen from the upsell perspective?
So, for example, let's consider Noom. Noom has like pretty much expensive subscription, and they also offer 5 upsells, as far as I remember, after the Paywall, and they upsell like anti-stress course, for example, that helps you to lose weight, for example, or additional like supplements for like improve your nutrition or something like that. Something that complementary to your main product. So, for example, if you sell, for example, fitness plan, personalized fitness plan, you can upsell, for example, meal plan. So it's like because it's complementary, you need like to take care of your nutrition if you want to like get fitter.
Yeah. All right. I like it. Okay. I got a question from, if you guys got any questions, leave a comment below and I will get to them. BN says, I see you support Paddle, and it says that you auto sync subscribers with Adapty. I don't see Paddle supported on Adapty site under subscriber sync, but if we use FunnelFox, will Paddle work too?
Yeah, sure, of course. By the way, Paddle, one of our partners, so it works seamlessly and we're pretty effective with FunnelFox and with Adapty, of course, as well.
Yeah, nice. We got some similar clients on the FunnelFox website as well.
Yeah.
I just had lunch with Andrew, who's the CMO of Paddle, yesterday. So shout out to you, Andrew.
Yeah, nice guy.
Good guy. Yeah, nice guy there. All right, let's get into the optimization side. Obviously, this is true for any optimization, whether you do like an onboarding flow, whether you're doing app or web, you want to build a bit of a trust too.
Yeah. So for optimization onboarding flow, building trust is a key to convince your users to buy the subscription, and even just not buy subscription, but proceed with the quiz, with the onboarding, because it's like this is why you can see, for example, a lot of screens like Headway has. It's the very beginning of onboarding, just to build some trust with the customers. Also, personalized feedback, also good tactics for improve conversions and like show some like value in personalization for users. And it's better if you provide the feedback based on answers that your users provided in the quiz, like Nebula. Yeah, it's like I inputted there that my birthday, and they answered it. Gemini, for example. I'm not Gemini, but it's like
Are you a Gemini?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I Sagittarius. Yeah. And the third thing is like perceived value, and perceived value could be like in form of like expected result, what can user can achieve with your product, and like Noom does with like this graph, this predicts of weight loss, speed, and just predicts you that when you hit your target weight. And you can end your onboarding flow on the Paywall with some personalized offer, and it's good when this personalized offer connected with this expected result. So you can say, we can help you. We build personalized plan for you, so you can reach your desirable weight, by this date, and this is why you can achieve that. We can help you with that, and this is how much it costs. This one is like the most frequently asked benchmarks that we have customers and like any other speeches. This is like conversion rates throughout the funnel by steps. The welcome screen is the first screen of the funnel that the user sees when clicks on the advertisement in creatives. And as you can see, almost half of users drop off this screen. It's like think about it as a filter. So there's some, of course, there is a misclicks on creatives, of course, or some users that has like not enough motivations to proceed with the quiz, or they just are not ready to proceed with the quiz right away. Or they can like return to that later. And almost 20% hit the paywall, and 1 to 5% of users proceed with the purchase. This is a like pretty wide range of the conversion rate. It really depends on audience, and depends on pricing, and even depends on creative. So you can have different creatives, and one creative can bring you like 1% conversion, and the other another creative can show you like 5% conversion.
And this is actually a purchase, right? It's not a start trial; it's a purchase. You're getting money.
It's purchase.
I want to break this down a little bit too. We have seen we got data from a very, very good source. So, all right, but they said that the subscription, from actual install to actually paying customer is roughly on average at an industry level is like 2 to 3%. So this is on par with what you see. And if you can hit 5%, that's even better. If you can hit 10, obviously even better. But this is on par with what you might see on the app side of things too.
Let's go to the next slide and see
let's go into. Hey, Andrey, is FunnelFox only good for apps with traction, or is it good for newly developed apps too?
It's for both. So it fits both segments. If you like you have new apps and you need new web funnels, it's like the best fit for FunnelFox, and with mature apps also.
BN says, I assume these funnels will work fine on desktop browsers too?
In FunnelFox, basically, the web funnels in general works great in mobile traffic and desktop traffic. It's working with. In FunnelFox, we focus right now on mobile traffic first because most of the customers use paid acquisition. Yeah, so 99% mobile traffic.
Yeah, most of the traffic is going to be mobile. But yeah, and even if you run Google ads, what I've noticed is a lot of the traffic, even the web search stuff, is all mobile. So even
Yeah.
like SEM, because we were bidding on keywords on Google to drive traffic to our app. This is our app, and we noticed that if you look at where the ads are being displayed, almost like 70-80% were on mobile too. So
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
cool. All right, let's get into the funnel. These are real numbers, right, Andre? Or is this fake numbers? Come on.
Okay, yeah, it's like it's average. The numbers are fake, but they average based on different projects.
Okay, nice.
And like it's just average, yeah. But they make sense, of course. So this is a comparison of direct to app funnel and web to app funnel. And sometimes it's interesting to look at these numbers because sometimes app developers start launching the funnel and stop it like not just without deep analyzing the numbers. For example, they can see that the CPM is higher in the funnel, and they can say like, okay, it's out of our benchmark that we have in up funnel, so it wouldn't work, and we just stop in the funnel. But the thing is that you need to analyze the whole funnel and of course ROI. And let's just go over these sections and break it down. So yeah, CPM is higher. It's connected. Basically, it's connected with difference in audience, just different audience and different auction in Facebook, for example. And it's normal to see like to slightly higher CPM or even like twice higher CPM is also good. So this is why you will get higher cost per click. And
Hey, Andre, if I can interrupt real quick, because we can all
mhm.
read the numbers here too. Is there any specific metric? I have my favorite. Is there any specific metric that you want to point out that is, like, hey,
Yeah, this is the eighth row with conversion rate to install and conversion rate to like to this from the welcome screen to the second screen that we saw before. This is like I think that it's like important to mention that the funnels look similar. And this step in web funnel, when you just launched, just landed on the web funnel, similar to that we have in app funnel in App Store on product page. When a user decide install the app on install, and the same thing in web funnel. They just need to decide if they are ready to proceed to the quiz and or not. This is why the whole funnel, if you see the conversions, they're similar. So 1.9 on up funnel and 1.8 in web funnel. But the most important thing lies in monetization, of course. And as you can see, the cost per purchase is higher in web funnel, but due to when flexible monetization strategies and due to higher subscription retention on web funnel, you can get more higher LTV, especially if you calculate predict at least 1 year prediction. Yeah. And so you can easily double your ROI comparing to up funnel. So it's more crucial, more important to compare LTV and cost per purchase, and compare ROI here.
Yeah. I mean, the main numbers I want to point out is obviously the commissions are much better. And then
Of course, yeah.
What we've experienced too from our apps that we have web to app funnels, the retention's a lot higher. Like even the monthly retention is a lot higher on the web side of things because you're going through Stripe, you're going through Paddle versus the App Store. So the retention number is a lot higher on a web funnel versus, and what I've also experienced too, versus an app funnel. Let me finish that thought before my brain takes over, tries to move at a speed that my mouth can't keep up with. But what I've also noticed is that the people are more likely to pay higher prices, Andre, on the web. Like on the app, they're like, ah,
Yeah.
and then on the web, we're used to higher
Mhm.
prices. You know, our Amazon average order size is probably hundreds of dollars. So, anyways, that's just for me to say, like, you can get more aggressive with the pricing on the website of things versus the app side of things too.
Yeah, that's true.
Agree or
Yeah, I
disagree?
see this
Okay.
pattern. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
All right, let's get into the next side. Oh, let me ask Nurex's question. Is like, what kind of apps do better on FunnelFox, Andre?
Um, so health and fitness category is the like best fit for Web2 funnels, but it's fun that the first customers, first apps that started scaling the revenue on FunnelFox were outside of health and fitness category. It was educational,
Mhm.
productivity, utility, even utility connect with weather. Yeah, it was a weather forecast, and it was like a surprise even for me. But
Wow.
I expected that health and fitness apps would be the first apps that started scaling. Yeah.
Yeah. We tried it with the web. It was we hacked it, Andre, because we didn't use FunnelFox, but we hacked it where we're just creating a custom product page, bidding on some keywords on Google, and then taking them to the custom product page. That's why I'm like, you need FunnelFox, because I was like, this is not working. People click on the ad, but they're just dropping off when they get to the app store, and our installs are like $4 or $5 per install. I mean, I think it was probably
Yeah,
closer to 3, 4, but they just weren't buying.
yeah,
Anyways.
that's true. Yeah. Yeah, and how FunnelFox helps app developers to launch the funnels and optimize them fast and easy and even cheaper. We have no-code onboarding builder. It's like allows you to build the whole funnel without involving developers, and you can just pass it to your designer, for example, or UA manager, and iterate more quickly and launch the funnel. And another thing that we have like library of components that you can use for building your web funnel, and these components like with proven best practices that we tested ourselves with A/B tests, and we collected that from different funnels that work on the market, on the industry, and we just understand what works better for funnels and what doesn't convert users, and we just pre-defined and pre-implement all these elements to help you start with funnels that has like best performance from scratch at the very beginning, and don't waste a lot of money, a lot of time, just testing these tactics and mechanics. Yeah, and we have seamless payment solution. We have integration with Paddle, Stripe, PayPal, and Braintree. We have our custom features on top of their basic functionality. Also, it's like
Mhm.
one-click upsells, subscription upgrades, and paid trial, for example, that you cannot set up with just default functionality of this providers. Yeah, you can select all of them, or you can use some of them simultaneously in your funnels. Yeah, and with FunnelFox, you can automatically synchronize your users and subscription that they purchased in the funnel with your app. We have integration with Adaptive Cost, revenue cat, conversion, or you can connect your in-house solution for mentioned subscription. We have webhooks where we can send all information about users and subscription to your backend, for example, or to your system.
What's the best
And
way? Hey Andre, for this auto users and auto sync with users and subs within the app, do you need to grab email? Like, is there anything that we need to do to make sure it seamlessly ties in?
it's no, it's not necessarily to ask email, but it just like common practice to ask email. But you can synchronize it through deep links, for example, and ask email in your web flow, or you can ask email and send deep link to email the user, and user can just sign in the app through just email, and that's it. Or you can implement the proper account creation flow in your web funnel, and to not ruin your conversion rate, you can pass this move this part behind the paywall, and after all purchases ask you to create account and make sure that everything is correct and set up properly, so they can sign in.
Is it possible to use FunnelFox without account creation or account management through?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. The thing is that some of the logic that for syncing users in app, inside the app, so you need to implement. If you want sign in there, or the whole process with account creation with login logic in your app, of course you need to implement it in your app. But in FunnelFox, you can set up everything in what's connected to web funnel and the whole funnel, the whole flow that lays on the web. And and we send we synchronize all this data with, for example, Adaptive or RevenueCat, and apps can pull this information from RevenueCat or Adaptive, as usually when the user logins to the app.
But if there's no login, it could still work?
It still work. It could work with deep link. You can
is that deep link something that you create, or is that a deep link that we have to create ourselves?
No, it could be for example, AppsWire deep link, one link, or just deep link, or any other deep links.
Okay, got it. All right.
You can just specify it in FunnelFox and set it for button, for example.
And obviously, you integrate with all these other tools.
Yeah, of course, for be able optimize your funnel, we have A/B tests built in in FunnelFox, and you can avoid using third-party tools and pay for external tools. So you can save on that and use A/B tests in FunnelFox, and we have integration with advertising networks for marketing tracking. You can connect your pixel conversion API. All this thing requires no code. You just no coding. You can connect all this stuff. And analytics, of course. So yeah, give it a try. You can scan this
there you go. Let's pull it up.
Drop me a message and I'll show you everything.
Yeah, nice. Well, it is funnelfox.io, or just click on that, pull up your phone and put the QR code in there as well. All right, Andrey, we got some questions. You ready to answer some?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
David, so impatient, my friend, that he has to do it twice. Don't worry, David. I got you. All right. I'm only going to the first one. He has a subscription app that's making over $10,000 a month, I'm assuming, in revenue, and he's trying to scale it without success in the last year. Any advice, or should I create a new app and cross promote? I mean, there's more context, David. If you would help us figure out what type of app you have, maybe we can answer it better. And then what have you tried? That would help us out a little bit better too, because we have no idea what the app is. So why don't you put that in the comments instead of asking 2 questions twice? Why don't you tell us a little bit more context here too? And then we got some other questions. Luis says, I keep going back and forth on what to choose, Stripe or Apple for payments. Apple, I've heard helps big for ASO, but Stripe in Web2App means less commission.
Good question. Basically, you can add Apple Pay in your web funnel and just use this as a main payment option, and actually, it's like also worth to mention that Apple Pay is like most commonly used payment option in web funnels nowadays.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And you can connect it with Stripe, so you can have Stripe account. You can connect it to FunnelFox, for example, and we have a custom checkout that can help you to highlight Apple Pay as the main
Yeah.
main payment option. And um, actually it was great when Apple Pay option appeared in like native browsers like Instagram browser or Facebook browser,
Yeah.
and yeah, it boosts conversion on like for different products by up to 30% for to the purchase. So it's like works very
Yeah.
well.
I would say, Lewis, I mean, depends on where you're at with the terms of revenues. With ASO, what we saw on one of our bigger clients, they were making like 100,000 plus a month on App Store Connect through Apple in-app purchases. They were just selling one-off things, so it wasn't subscription. But then they moved to Stripe, and they saw obviously better commissions. But the ranking that we got them to be number one, we slowly went down. And so I do think that revenues look, Lewis, if you're in the app, I would just stick with the Apple payments. If you're in the web, then obviously that's when you can get creative with Stripe, Paddle, Apple, all that stuff. So in the app, I think I would stay with the Apple purchases too. All right. So he says, excuse the newbie question, but ATT isn't an issue on web. Does this mean you can target users a lot better on web campaigns versus mobile campaigns? Is that the main benefit of web funnels versus mobile funnels?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you can attribute each users and each your campaign accurately, and it's one of the main benefits. Uh, so these two main benefits: is attribution and lower commissions. Yeah,
Yeah,
you can.
that's primarily it. And then Nurek says, Steve, is it now ASA less effective than meta ads? Look, Nurek, I think ASA is becoming tough because we're all fighting for one spot. I'm working on something special about ASA, but I just think it's getting to a point where maybe the little guys can't use ASA anymore because we just don't have the numbers that the big guys do, and we can't afford to pay higher than a certain cost per install. And so I would say yes, for the most part, but still one of the easiest channels to get started because you don't need creatives because Meta is highly reliant on creatives. So you need more, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Sweat equity. You just need more people to create the creatives too. So it's easiest, but I think it's getting harder and harder to scale on Apple search ads too. Okay. David's gone. He asked 2 questions. Krishna, hey Krishna, for a subscription app, what's your top choice for a payment solution? I think we kind of covered that. What do you think, Andrey?
I would recommend start with Paddle, for example, because it's like easier to launch, and you don't need to take care of taxes, for example, because Paddle is like merchant of record payment provider. That means that Paddle sells subscription on behalf of their merchants, and so they can pay taxes for you. You don't need to take care of your taxes and some chargebacks or refunds, so it's like less hassle for you. But Stripe is like slightly like more effective in terms of conversion rates because that checkout is you can customize checkout by your needs, by your goals. Yeah,
Like it. Okay.
Paddle or Stripe. Yeah, just doing that.
BN says no auth support in the funnel, right? So no sign up with Apple or whatever at this point. We can just deep link into the app. So when the auto sync, that's why I was a little bit
No, actually,
confused.
no, actually, there are like sign up with like social networks like Facebook, Google, Apple, and you can sign in users and sign up with these options. And I would say that it's one of the also easiest way to synchronize your users with your app because there is no like it helps you to avoid misspelling emails that like sometimes happen in web funnels. And you can just connect them with like for example, Facebook identifier for users, and connect it and synchronize it with that.
Cool. I'll answer this quickly. Pre says, what's a good impression to downloads ratio? I don't know, and I don't care, because I don't know, unless you know, Prees, what is an impression? I don't know how Apple calculates an impression, so I'm not going to try to figure out what's a good impression. There's more interesting things to think about versus what's a good impression to download ratio. All right, Shay says, I would love your thoughts on this. You cannot upload Web2App iOS app in most countries if you don't integrate in-app purchase mechanism, which actually cancels the Web2App idea in iOS for SaaS websites and etc. You know what he's talking about?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, but of course, yeah. If the question connected with like your availability of your app in some countries, of course, you need to like exclude these countries on a few targets in your Web2App campaigns and restrict these payments from these countries anyhow. So this is it. And but Web2App is quite commonly used in different countries.
I muted myself. What the hell happened? Do you have? Yeah, Andre said he has no jokes, but I'm gonna have a joke as well. But so I warned my friend Andre. Actually, let me get my soundboard to get ready. There you go. I warned my friend Andre to not play Russian roulette, but it went in one ear and then out the other. There you go. A little dark, but all right. Thanks, BN. I know.
Nice one. Yeah, nice one.
Okay, cool. Let's get into the app audit. If you want your app audited in a future live stream, just go to appmasters.com/audit, appmasters.com/audit. I do want to give a shout out who's a fan of this show, Jacob. He is a senior in high school, and he built this app called Runway. He's been following the channel for a bit. Said, hey, he helped it out. Our channel helped him, and then please give me a shout out. So I was like, all right, we'll give him a shout out. So congrats, Jacob. If you guys want to check out his app, it's called Runway, and you can learn different. I don't even know what it does, actually, but go check it out, Runway as well. All right, let's just focus on this particular app. Let me pull up. Ooh, shoot. I moved my Slack. Let me go back on Slack. Here we go. Great. All right. This is Rail wanting guidance on ASO. Okay. So I love this niche, right? One of my favorite ASO tools is called AppFollow. And I genuinely like them for keyword research. And then when I'm using keyword research, what I like to do, I wanted to do my ASO stack video, but I like to use AppFollow for keyword research. And then after I get those keywords, I put them into App Radar. I find that they have the best difficulty scores. And so if you're not running any UA campaigns, user acquisition campaigns, then what you really want to focus for the ASO side is finding lower traffic keywords. I'm sorry, lower competition keywords to go after. Because what I've found is if you're not number one, it really probably won't do much in terms of downloads. So really important to be number one. You can put icebreaker. Let me just put that in here just because you have this. You're number 2 for icebreaker. Congrats, Rail. Oh, cool. Thank you, AppFollow. You guys fixed everything. But you want to look for icebreaker. So 19 really doesn't have that much traffic. You want to try to find, I know this is the hard part. And so those who are asking, there's a guy in here that was asking for app ideas. How do you come up with that app idea? I forgot what your name was. But anyways, I'm answering your question. This is how you find out app ideas. You go look for keywords and then try to find a keyword that is hopefully nobody's paying attention to, and that is around 30 search traffic. So this might be the not right keyword. I might just go all in on AI dating assistant, Rail. I mean, and just try to do your best from that, because icebreaker is not a great keyword for you, even though you're number 2. I'm sure you're not getting that big of a increase in downloads for being number 2 for icebreaker, unless I'm wrong. and just email me if you think I'm wrong. So yeah, here, Riz AI, Wing AI. One of the other things I like to do is look on the web and just see if there's any type of look. If you're gonna, I'm not promoting this strategy, okay? Because if you get some legal problem, don't say you found this idea from me. What I'm trying to say is, I have seen other people do this where they'll look for something on the web, they'll find a web site that has, some traction, and then they'll call their app that. And so, and they don't have an app version of it. So that's another way to do it. Riz GPT might be an interesting keyword for you. I just start doing that. But that's how you start optimizing, right? Nobody has it in the title except one right there. There you go. I just found you a keyword rail. Done. And that had like 30 search traffic. So you might want to change your title to Riz GPT and go all in on that one. All right. Andre, you want to add anything on here? I know I kind of just took over.
No,
Okay, good.
I'm
Anything
good.
on the screenshots or anything around that front? No? Okay. A lot of silence. All right. Christian says, Andre, how do you charge customers on FunnelFox?
Yeah, we have hybrid pricing, so it's like fixed price, and additionally, it depends on volume, by the way, and we have a fixed part of the pricing and percent of revenue that you get from the funnels.
And then Andrew says, does install the Paywall View, or that first page? What did you call it, Andre?
I
Yeah.
would say that the most important metric in Web2App, and I would say that in app traffic as well, it's ROAS, or ROI. So you need to optimize to increase your LTV and increase your CPA. So this is it. For example, you can have a good conversion from like start quiz, start onboarding to Paywall, but it doesn't make sense if nobody purchases subscription. Yeah, so it's really
Well,
important to
I
have.
think the question, I'm going to disagree a little bit, Andre. So that's why I'm like, you disagree with me. I think what he's trying to
Okay.
get to is, once the traffic is in there, is still the important metric to track. And I would say yes, because you want to make sure this is still positive. But I guess if you're doing at least 30%, then go ahead and focus on other. Is that how you would frame it? Because what I've been saying is, obviously install the paywall view is the most important metric, because you can't get somebody to buy if they're not actually making through the entire web funnel, right? So I think that's what the question was, like, should we try to optimize this to make sure that most of the traffic is seeing this?
Yeah. I accept the correction.
Okay.
Yeah, sure, of course. Yeah,
Okay.
makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. If nobody on your paywall, yeah, you don't have probably
All right. I like it,
any
man.
purchases. Yeah.
Uh, Apple won't prove that apps of payments and not using it. Oh, eBay. Shay, I think you're wrong in that regard. So, all right, let's get into the next app. We've got Kim. I don't think this is Kim White. I think this is Rob. But anyways, maybe this is Kim's app. Maybe you guys have the same app. It's called Five Live. But all right, let's take a look at this app. And they want help with ASO. ASO. All right, ASO wise, I think this is going to be really, really hard. Kim, you're going to have to really focus on happy hour. I don't know how many people are searching for happy hour, but you might want to lean into some of the bigger happy hour places like Applebee's, or I don't know, Chili's, because maybe they have search volume versus happy hour, right? Because I don't think happy hour has a lot of search volume. Let me just try this. Go back to my handy dandy tool. Thank you, App Follow, for fixing all this. So right here, right? Like, you can maybe try to target these guys to see if you can try to leverage their audience a bit more. Because dang it, I'm going to assume happy hour just doesn't have as much traffic. And then to be where you have the deals, because for an app like this, like, you want people to use the app. So lean into where you get the most traction. So if it's San Francisco, lean into San Francisco and all the sports teams like Golden State Warriors, San Francisco Giants, San Jose Sharks. Those sports teams names generally have good traffic and low competition. And so that's how you target a demographic or a location with ASO. All right. Let me get into the app itself, and then we'll finally let Andrey go. What time is it over there, Andrey?
8.
8 hour. Yeah.
8 p.m.
He's
Yeah.
8 p.m. on a Friday night. He needs to go to happy hour right after this. All right, here we go. Up to 70% off. The spacing on this, Kim, is a little bit off. And then here's what I would be careful about too is I know the swipe is interesting. If you have a older audience, they may not know that they can swipe. So I always prefer to have continue button and a swipe feature because I have noticed, Andrey, that sometimes when you have a long paywall, sometimes people just don't even scroll in. So like
Yeah.
users are not as smart as you think they are. You're a
Mm-hmm.
developer, so you're more technically advanced than maybe the big people out there too. All right. I don't honestly know what I'm getting from this app. So what I would say is what we found from our end through our community is, and you can find that at Masters Academy, is that usually these price points don't work. Like 31 doesn't work as well as $29.99. So really be rounded. You having these weird numbers like 31 or 34, because 34 is not that big of an example, but like 33, 31, 32, they don't perform as well as just $29.99. We're all used to it. Lead in with that too. Okay. I like the hard paywall.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I have no idea why, what I'm getting from an offer perspective too. So if you're not getting a super high conversion on this hard paywall, then think about having a soft paywall and trying to figure out how to make money outside of charging consumers. Because I don't think the problem is this is why I say build a painkiller, Andrey, because this is a vitamin, right? Like this is complete. I don't actually need this. So that's why I say this is a great example of building a vitamin because you don't know if people are willing to buy. And I don't, I'm like, okay, I can also just go to a happy hour or like go to my local restaurant, right? And find that there too. So anyways.
Yeah, I would say also
right.
that it's slightly overloaded. It's difficult to convince to just to perceive that what it offers. By the way, it's like discount or what? Yeah. And by the way, speaking of onboarding, I would recommend as like doctor of quizzes. I would recommend to try quiz there. If you can ask users some questions to personalize offer you, even like 2-3 screens with questions, I think it would be better.
Yeah, agree. Like, what are you interested in? What kind of happy hours? Is it drinks? Is it food? Like what is it that's more interesting? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
But Andrey, like I
definitely.
also feel like you're targeting an audience that's looking for deals, and then you're trying to charge them for deals. You see like where I'm like, these people are looking for deals. Okay, I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm not looking for deals. I don't care about coupons. So meaning that, okay, maybe I don't have enough money to not have to look for deals. It's kind of like, would you pay for Groupon? Maybe not, right? Like, because it's like you're looking for deals. And so like you're already inherently targeting people that may not have enough funds to pay for your app because that you're actually trying to charge for something where there's deals. So that's sort of where I'm at with this too. But anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to kill anybody's dreams of building apps and making money from apps too. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, Jacob apps. I forgot. Okay, Jacob's app is like a Duolingo for STEM app for STEM. Duolingo for STEM. There you go. That's what his app. All right. That's enough shout outs. Okay. BN says, Steve, you think 29.99 is better than 30? Yes, I think so. I don't have enough data to do that. The data I do have is it's definitely better than 32. So so he said, is it common to lead to a landing page with a button to click through to take the user to the app's page in the app store and not have them go? Okay. So Tahid's saying, is it better to just have a funnel and then take them to directly to the app store? Or is it better to try to get them to pay on the web?
I think you can experiment with both strategies, and you can even have both strategies at the same time. So you don't need to choose. Just use both strategies, and that's it. Because
Yeah.
it's like it can target different audience. But if you don't sell subscription on web, just it's important to mention that you cannot leverage this lower fees and high subscription retention and all this stuff. But anyway, you can leverage on better attribution, yeah,
Yeah.
and different channels.
I personally, here's my personal opinion until my data tells differently. But Tahid, I wouldn't do it. We've tried it. It just didn't work. We tried it for a couple of different apps. It didn't work. We took them to a landing page. That landing page had social proof, Andre. And then we took them when they hit continue or download, we took them to the app store. It just, there's so much drop off everywhere. It didn't really pan out for us. I tried it with my app. I tried it with the client's app. We tried it with another client's app, I think, and it just didn't work. But we just use Google keywords. So that's the channel we use that didn't work for. So I've never tried it on Facebook or anything else, but I just tried it on Google and just didn't work as well. All right, cool. Anything I miss, Andre, that you want to make sure we cover?
I would also tell about budget that requires for optimizing web funnels. I think that it's like also interesting question could be for new app developers who decided to launch the app.
Yeah.
How much budget should I have? So yeah, it depends on what the like product you have. If you have like competitors, so you can make sure that it works and you can some like get inspiration from these competitors. Yeah, and I would say that based on our experience, it's from 15,000 to 30,000 in total for just testing traffic and for optimizing the funnels. Yeah,
A month or just
and
total?
it's total, yeah. And sometimes it's like it's up to 50K, but I would say that the like more common it's like between 15 and 30. And about the time frames, it also depends if you have your own infrastructure, if you decide to build it from scratch with your own team. It could like take up to 6 months based on our benchmarks that we see with our customers and other players in the market. In FunnelFox, usually customers start scaling their revenue after 2 months, 3 months after launching funnel.
Nice. Congrats. All right. You know what? On top of that, I want to answer David's question. If you're making $10,000 a month in revenues, but you haven't been able to scale it, I would just pick one of the campaigns. I'd probably just pick Meta. We started running. It's an indie developer. We started with a 2,000 a monthly budget on Meta, and we're seeing pretty good results. I had a call with him yesterday, and we're seeing really good results with that. And so, I mean, I wouldn't say really. We're just starting to see good ROAS. I wouldn't say like 2x ROAS, Andre, but we are seeing good results because what Meta allows you to do is when you run ads on social media, your app store traffic goes up as well. And I've seen it with the big clients that we're working with. Your app store search traffic will just go up. So will your brand name. So people who search for App Masters, FunnelFox, that brand name goes up as well. And so there's an inherent, you have to do mixed modeling where you sort of just say, okay, what was I doing before I started running ads? What am I doing after I'm starting running ads? And then look at your overall downloads from all the different sources and your overall revenues from all these different sources because it's going to be a mixed bag. But David, you've got enough that you can take a little bit of a risk. And I think, what I'm feeling like these days too, Andre, and feel free to disagree, but I'm like, okay, I can get apps to this certain point. Now how do we get bigger? And then I think we get scared off, whereas the big guys are willing to spend a little bit more and take that risk. Obviously, they might have been fundraisers, so they're spending other people's money, but you're making 10, spend 2, spend 3. It's okay. We're going to break down in 2 weeks. We're going to break down our Facebook ad strategy, especially if you're trying to run with a small budget. And we're going to break that down for you because we've seen pretty good success for our clients with smaller budgets and big budgets. All right. Okay. Andre, thank you so much. Once again, it
Thank
is
you.
FunnelFox.io, FunnelFox.io. It's like sister companies. How would you say that? Because it came from Adapty as well, or no? Are you guys trying to just keep everything separate? What are you trying to do?
Yeah, we're separate. Yeah, but
Okay, completely separate.
yeah.
All right, I like it. Well, it is funnelfox.io if you want to get started onto Web2App campaigns. Andre said, hey, if you just launched an app, it is a great strategy that you can get started as well if you believe in the channel that you think will help you grow your revenues. So once again, it is funnelfox.io. Andre, if the audience wants to learn more or connect with you or learn more about you, where do you want to send them? You want to send them anywhere else?
Yeah, just you can get contact reach me out in LinkedIn, for example, and feel free to DM me. Yeah,
I love it.
drop me a
Well, all
line.
that is linked up into the show notes on your favorite podcast app, YouTube description as well. Go connect with Andre and go check out FunnelFox by going to funnelfox.io. All right. Next week, we've got Ivy from Resime, and she's going to share the Facebook ad strategy that she used to scale her app to 2 million ARR. And man, I think she's going to be okay. That's public for sure. But it's going to be an exciting show because they're spending lots of money on Facebook and they've been able to find the ad creative that's helped them really, really scale to spend thousands a day on Meta. So join us every Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific on YouTube or LinkedIn, everywhere you're watching this as well. Andre, thank you so much for coming on and doing this.
Yeah, thank you very much. My pleasure.
Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you.